Good evening, everyone. It's good to be back with you. I have a few announcements for you before we get started. This Sunday, April 12th, we'll have a church parking lot service. It's going to start at 10:30 a.m. I want all of you to be there. If you'll tune in on your radios to 107.1 FM, you'll be able to hear Brother Larry out here. Again, it starts at 10:30 a.m. this Sunday, April 12th. Those to keep in your prayers, it's also, I'm going to remind out, Geneva Harris, keep her in your prayers. She had to go for x-rays and she thinks she may have a tumor on her kidneys. Keep her and Ken in your prayers. Also remember Joe Davis, who continues to have health issues. Please remember Jerry and the family. Also, I'm going to remind out, I'll read this. This is from Anthony Horton. It says, I just had the awesome privilege to baptize my Uncle Howard Horton. He is 71. Please pray for him and his wife Diane. She has rededicated her life as well. What a wonderful day. So those are announcements. Please keep those in your prayers. I'll go ahead and get started with this evening's devotion. I enjoy doing this with you. Recently, I watched a replay of the San Francisco 49ers and the Cleveland Browns play a football game. That's remarkable because the Cleveland Browns are terrible. But their quarterback, they drafted, named Baker Mayfield, was a Heisman Trophy winner in college. He was incredibly successful. He led his team at the time, the University of Oklahoma, to several wins. But there's a problem with Baker Mayfield in the eyes of a lot of people, is that he did a lot of confrontational things. He was caught on camera having unsportsmanlike moments off the field and on the field. Filled with some sort of authorities, and for a lot of people, and in their minds, he deserved a bad reputation. And so on Monday night, when the quarterback of the Browns, Baker Mayfield, played against a man named Richard Sherman, defender for the San Francisco 49ers, his team got destroyed. That we expected to hear from outspoken defender Richard Sherman. When he got up to the podium, that defender said, Baker Mayfield didn't shake my hand, and insulted his character, saying, that's something like Bush League. I can't believe he would do that. And it fired us up to play against Baker Mayfield. That's just terrible. And you think about Baker Mayfield, unsportsmanlike conduct in college, and unsportsmanlike conduct off the field, and we say, wow, he really needs to get his life together. That's another millionaire that just needs to learn how to be respectful. The problem with all of that is, in their day, there's cameras everywhere. And you know what they found when somebody went back to actually check? Did he shake that player's hand? And the answer is yes. He did shake the player's hand. The defender was caught lying to the press to make him look bad. And to his credit, the defender has since owned up to that and apologized and tried to make it right. But it got me thinking about Matthew chapter 12. What if we were truly held accountable to every word that we spoke? Jesus talks about that in the beginning of verse 35. Matthew chapter 12, verse 35. And it reads, A good man out of the good treasure of his heart brings forth good things, and an evil man out of the evil treasure brings forth evil things. But I say to you that for every idle word men may speak, they will give an account of it in the day of judgment. You may be familiar with the idea or the phrase of a hot mic. It's when somebody, generally on TV or in some sort of performance, has a microphone and it's on. And they'll say, that mic is hot. You can hear them speak. And if we're honest, and if you've ever been around a microphone, you talk differently sometimes on a microphone than away from it. And if you're heard speaking when you think the microphone is off, you might be heard saying something you wish wasn't heard. But the truth is, with God, and what Jesus laid out here in Matthew chapter 12, is we always have a hot mic. God always sees not only what we say, but He knows if it's true or not. He knows if it's uplifting or not. Notice verse 33, the idea that Jesus first painted to get to the word will either justify or condemn us. Verse 33 says, either make the tree good and its fruit good, or else make the tree bad and its fruit bad. For a tree is known by its fruit. Translation, you are what you say. You can't be a terrible person and say good things and think that's okay. God knows what you're saying. He knows whether you believe it, whether you mean it, and He knows if it's true. He also knows if you're a good person that you'll take in good things to your heart, and then what will come out, good things as well. You think about a child, and this is an easy illustration. You think about a child You think about a child that can only speak words that they've been taught. They don't make up profanity. And so if a child speaks a profane word, how did he come up with that? It wasn't a random coincidence. He heard it somewhere, probably from a teacher, mom, dad, brother, sister, whoever he's around. And like little children, we inform our hearts. We inform our actions by first what we dwell on and what we meditate on. And so if we live every moment as if we had a hot mic, do you think we might be a little more kinder in general? You think when we go back to our homes tonight, we complain about how long the 5-minute invitation was, knowing that I could hear that being one who gave the 5-minute invitation? Do you think we would just be equally rude and careless? Or might we take some extra time with our words and make sure they're constructed, that they are uplifting, and by the way, that they are true? Jesus says in verse 37, and scary words here, "For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned." We will answer for how we speak. And so the time to start taming the tongue is yesterday. We start now. Be ready for every word you speak to be held accountable to you a judgment, because it will be until, as we think about our lives this week, think about the destructive power of the tongues. For James 3 says it's like a little flame in the forest that sets the whole forest afire. Know that you can turn the tide, though. You can say one little compliment that builds somebody up and makes the strong changes the way they approach their week and have a good week because of that powerful little time and those kind little words that you started with it. I hope you have a good week, and that's the end of the invitation.